There is a video I want to watch. It's a hot topic right now on the competitive side of things. I'm watching this. All right. I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. I'm not saying anything right now. I'm not giving my opinion on it yet. Let's watch the video first, and then we can talk about it real quick, okay?
Let me get an AR. Let me land up here and get an AR. Come on. That actually works.
You're insane, Jarvis. You're insane.
Exhibit A of why I switched to back to Legacy.
So, a lot of people are like going crazy about aim assist lately. This is legacy aim assist, right? Legacy aim assist. This, just good tracking. Well, I don't. So the thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what this guy, like, if he's a really good player, good tracking, whatever. Like, I've played with controller, and I haven't ever done something like this, right? So there's so many people that are going crazy over this because it's like it's a blue pistol. Like Bizzle just had a stroke. Jarvis. I couldn't do this even when I was doing my Kovacs routine daily after a few months. This is crazy. And people want like controller players to not play against PC players and vice versa. I think that at the end of the day, there is such a few amount of controller players that do well in competitive tournaments for this to be a big issue. Like, out of the top, 100 World Cup qualifiers, I think 4 of them were on controller, or 6 of them were on controller. And then 94, 96 of them were on PC, mouse and keyboard. Controller on PC, and then the others were mouse and keyboard. So, like, this is a strong point that controllers have, is that their aim can sometimes be very aimbot-like or snappy, and the L2 gives you, like, it really, like, is very rewarding if played properly or in the right situation. But then you have like so many other problems and disadvantages that controller players have. To the point where it's like, where are the controller players in the World Cup? Where are the controller players in all the cash cups? Like, sure, Unknown Army, who's like really, really good at the game, won a few cash cups, but most of the top players on those cash cups are on mouse and keyboard. Most of them are. And I would even say that there is like more controller players than mouse and keyboard players. Maybe not on PC, but just in total, there's more controller players than mouse and keyboard players. And if you look at the population, like, you're still seeing everything dominated by mouse and keyboard. Just straight up dominated. Right? Now, there's a few controller players that do really well in cash cups. Unknown Army, Aiden, Assault, right? And then there's a few controller players that do well in like team-based, tournaments. Wolfies did well in the World Cup as a controller player, but like, there's such a small amount. Like, you can literally name them on a small list in the palm of your hand. This controller player, this controller player, this controller player, this controller player. These are the good controller players. And then the PC players, it's like, whoop! Everyone that does well, the majority of them are on PC. So yes, this clip is a little ridiculous, right? It's not even a little ridiculous, it's very ridiculous, right? But even with this level of aim assist, even with this level of consistency in shots at certain times, all the other disadvantages make it impossible for controller players to like consistently pop off. Like most of them are not. Most of the people at the top are on mouse and keyboard. And then this clip, you know, how like you heard the guy in the beginning. He's like,
Let me get an AR.
let me get an AR. Like he's looking for this. This guy is looking for this clip, right? He's probably been landing on top of this chest, hoping for an AR and hoping to get a clip like this to show it off, right? But I bet you if you took a lot of the top PC players and you told them to land up here over and over and over and take shots like this, you eventually will get a few clips like this on mouse and keyboard. Like you guys have seen the Tfue clip with the hunting rifle. You've seen Mongrel Mitro clips with the infantry rifle. So like if you're looking for a pop-off clip like this, eventually you can get it. Sure, L2 in this situation might be less skillful than somebody actually investing their time into aiming like with a mouse and keyboard. Like this guy, obviously he probably plays control a lot. I don't know if he's like a top tier player or not. But like eventually you're gonna get a clip like this. And this guy was definitely looking for a clip like that. Like he definitely was looking for this. And I think that people like overlook all the other clips of PC players, you know, doing things that are similar. But even if they were not, right? Even if they were not, even with this like level of consistency, like control players still don't dominate in the competitive scene. They don't dominate. There's only a few that do really well, and most of the top players are on PC, mouse and keyboard, not on controller. So like if you took like let's be honest, like if you took this away from controller players, like if you took like the aim assist away or like nerfed it, like then they would never even come close to doing well in tournaments. They would never do well. And even right now, they barely, there's only a few that actually do really well. So I think it's a silly argument. I think like it, like the only way you could say like, oh, controller's overpowered is if like you looked at the leaderboards and the top 10, like 8 of them are on controller. At that point you can say, okay, yeah, there's something wrong because there's most likely more players on PC that use mouse and keyboard and less on PC that use controller. Therefore, if like the top 10 on like a PC tournament was 8 controller players, you know, at the top out of 10, then you could be like, okay, well that doesn't make sense because they have a smaller population, yet there's 8 of them in the top. Like, what's going on here? Our controllers actually overpowered, but that's not happening. In the top 10, there's maybe 1 controller player. In the top 100, maybe 10 at most. You know? So I think it's a silly argument. I think it's a non-issue right now. It's a non-issue. Now, this might like be a concept to tell controller players legacy is better than linear and exponential. I gotta be honest, like there's not really a lot of information on the controller. Like I wish there was a controller player like me who broke down some of like the science and like details of like all the aim settings and also like talked about some of the bugs that controller players have. I feel like they don't really have a good like technical like YouTuber or streamer that can really shine a light on like controller like bugs or controller settings. You know, there's not really like that available. I know about Gronky and a few other people that show some stuff, but like it's not as wide reach. Like, and I feel like some of their voices aren't being heard because controller players have had trap bugs for like a very long time, and that's still not fixed. And I bet you that if I made a video or like a thing saying, "Hey, this is what's happening with controller. This is the bug. This is how it happens. Epic, fix it." It would probably get fixed. Because sometimes that's what you got to do. Like people say I complain a lot, but sometimes that's what you got to do to get things fixed. This guy is spamming, "Why do you use light mode?" As if light mode assassinated his entire family. He literally just is having a mental breakdown in the chat. He's only typed 9 comments in the chat, guys. Why do you have to use light mode? Why do you have to use light mode? Why do you have to why do you have to use light mode? Why do you have to... As if me using light mode on Reddit, which I don't even really scroll through Reddit on my computer. I usually just scroll through it on my phone in dark mode. But as if light mode, you know, like killed this guy's parents at birth, and he's like, "How freaking dare you?" Some of you choose the wrong things to build your personality around. Using light or dark mode is not a unique characteristic trait that makes you special. All right. Guess where I'm landing, fellas. Guess where I'm landing. Ah, frick, this controller player beat me to it.